it's hard to assume that position. Most of you guys don't have any problem with it. We like to squat in that low bar position. And I like to teach beginners the low bar position because it's easier on their back. They can lift more weight that way. There's less trouble in terms of, do what? Oh, yeah, it works, it brings the posterior chain in more as well. Okay, there is a controversy in Olympic weightlifting that we've been, and we just throw this out and let you guys kick this around as a thought problem and see what you think about it. Olympic weightlifters like to do high bar squats. And I have said in a couple of places that I want Olympic lifters to do low bar squats and front squats and not high bar squats. Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? Okay. The high bar squat up on the traps is what is typically referred to. In fact, they call it an Olympic squat. A lot of times you'll hear it referred to as an Olympic squat. I don't like that for Olympic lifters. I want them to do low bar squats. Why?
Maximum weight.
One. Yes, one. Keep going.
Less stress on the back.
There's already a bunch of stress on the back because of all of the pulling that they do. All right? Anything you can do to minimize a whole bunch more back strain, the better. Keep going. It's because of the similarity of the greater similarity between the low bar squat position and the pull. What are the geometries that affect the pull? We'll get to this later on. I'll show you when we deadlift. We'll touch on this again. When you deadlift, your back is much more horizontal. When you pull anything off the floor, when you deadlift, snatch, or clean, your back lines up in about the same position. Now, when in the snatch, it's a little bit more extreme, but there are several things that have to occur when the bar comes off the floor. Your scapulas, as we talked about earlier, must line up right over the bar. Pulling position off the floor always occurs. The bar leaves the ground when the scapula is directly over the bar. When the bar is right over the middle of the foot. When the back is locked in position. When the arms are straight elbows. That's going to produce a set of angles that depends on the width of the grip and some other things. But it's terribly critical that you understand that the bar won't come off the ground unless the scapula is right over the bar. And I defy anybody to show me a video of any kind of weight being pulled where those conditions aren't satisfied. We've been looking and we can't find any. You see any weight being pulled off the floor, snatch, clean and jerk, deadlift, it's always comes off the ground in the same position. Now that may be a different position than you think it is. If the bar is low on the back, then the angles in the squat more closely approximate the pull. Now, we're already front squatting for Olympic lifting anyway, aren't we? We front squat for the clean, specifically for the clean. So why would we train the squat for Olympic weightlifting? What's the purpose in doing any back squat for Olympic weightlifting? There's no direct application for any back squat in the sport, is there? Because we don't back squat in Olympic weightlifting. So why are we doing a back squat? Just to get strong. Just a general non-specific strengthening exercise. And if that is actually the case, then it makes a whole bunch more sense for us to do one that more closely conforms to the geometry of the pull, that takes the stress off of the low back, that doesn't produce as much shear force because of the lever arm length. Okay, so my argument is that Olympic weightlifting should use the low bar squat position as well. And I can't get anybody to tell me why not. All I can get anybody to say is, well, the best Olympic weightlifting coaches in the world use the high bar squat. There must be a reason. What the hell's the reason? I don't want this ad hominem argument, because somebody named Boris wants you to do a high bar squat, that's enough of an excuse? No, I'm sorry, it's not. I need your reasoning. And here's my reasoning. So I'd like to hear somebody else's. But nobody will tell me. So there's the deal. So that's why we put the bar down there low on the back.